ಏನದು ಅಟ್ಟಾಗಿ Good morning.
மேம் குட் மார்னிங் மேம். மேம் ஹெச்ஓடிஸ் வரணுங்க. இன்டர்நேஷனல் பிசினஸ் ஒரு 2 நிமிஷங்க நான் கூப்பிட்டுறேங்க மேம். 2 மினிட்ஸ்.
Ma, the other email ID, you should let me in. Okay, you have let me in. Okay, ma.
மேம் 1 மினிட் மேம். ஹெட் ஆஃப் த டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்
No,
அருணா
11
சர்வீஸ்
o'clock
வரணும்.
we will start, no?
Okay,
What
ma'am.
time to start? 11 o'clock, right?
11 o'clock will start, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Sir, good morning, sir. Welcome, sir.
Good morning. Good
Shall
morning.
we start, ma'am? Good morning.
Hi.
Sir, ma'am, Chitramani ma'am,
Good
shall we
morning,
start, ma'am?
Start.
One minute. Ma'am, one minute. Over to the MOC.
Good morning.
Morning.
Can you hear me?
Guest of the day, Dr. Chitra Mani, Professor in Business Administration and Dean, School of Commerce and Management, Sri Avinash Lingam Institute for Home Science and Higher Education for Women Coimbatore. Distinguished participants of our session, Honorable Principal Dr. A. Ponusamy Sir, Inspector Head of the Department, Dr. Sardamani Ma'am, Professor and Head Department of Business Administration, and Dr. P. Armugasamy Sir, Professor and Head the Department of Commerce, International Business, and dignified faculty members. Welcome to today's session on curriculum design and interdisciplinary approaches. As educators, we recognize the importance of creating learning experiences that prepare students for an increasingly complex and interconnected world. Traditional disciplinary silos are no longer sufficient to address the multifaceted challenges we face today. In this program, we will explore the principles and practices of curriculum design and interdisciplinary approaches to foster innovative and effective teaching and learning. We are looking forward for your interactive participation. Now, I invite Dr. Sugandhi, Professor Department of Business Administration, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, one and all present. It's my pleasure welcoming all three TP curriculum design and interdisciplinary approaches. I welcome the honorable guest of the day, Professor P. Ramani, ma'am, Professor and Dean, School of Commerce and Management, Avinash Lingam Institute for Home Science and Higher Education for Women. I deem it a privilege in welcoming our principal, esteemed leader of the institution, Dr. Sami Sir, Hindustan College of Arts and Science. It's an immense pleasure in welcoming our beloved HOD ma'am, Dr. P. Sharadamani ma'am, Professor and Head, Department of Business Administration, and respected Dr. P. Armugasamy Sir, Professor and Head of the Department of Commerce, International Business, and dignified faculty members of our college in India. I'm really happy to share the profile of the guest of the day. Dr. P. Chitramani ma'am, Professor in Business Administration and Dean, School of Commerce and Management, Avinash Lingam Institute for Home Science and Higher Education for Women, and she graduated with Bachelor's in Management from PhD College of Arts and Science, Master degrees in Business Administration, PhD College of Technology, degrees in Management, Avinash Lingam University of Women, and qualified in UGC NET exam for lecturership. Her areas of interest and expertise: project management, customer relationship management, supply chain management, product and brand management, digital marketing, IT business process, and business analytics and intelligence. She's of a supply chain management course in SWAYAM, MOOC, and UGC funding of 13.5 lakhs. To her credit, her contribution towards the design of innovative curriculum and pedagogy, institutional and infrastructure development, industry-centric research linkages have enhanced her excellence. She is the managing committee member of the Coimbatore Management Association. Her academic researchers are designing marketing modules based on quality of living, buying behavior, and life orientation of urban slum dwellers, building marketing strategies for consumer behavior and brand differentiation, and moreover, in computerized information system for higher purchase credits and inventory management, and also strategic export marketing at the Quantum Engineering Limited, Madras, Chennai. With about 30 years of teaching, research, and community experiences, 15 years of offshore teaching experiences, she produced more than 3 PhD scholars and guiding more than 7 PhD scholars, accompanying 700 corporate projects, funded developmental projects, and 2 research projects, and has several publications in international journals with Google citation and Scopus citation. To all, we are happy to see your kids, ma'am. Welcome you, ma'am, session. Virtual dais is yours, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am.
Now I request the guest of the day to start this session.
Ma'am, you can start the meeting session, ma'am.
I had a network problem and I went out. Can I start now?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you can start.
Uh, Very good morning to all present here. Uh, I think the new education policy is not new to us. I think by now most of the institutions have started to at least look into at the state level or at level into the new education policy. So before I start on, I would like to know at what levels our discussions can follow. So for that reason, I would like you all to text me from which area of study you all come, so that I can modify my talk related to it. One, and the second is I would like to know at what levels you are aware of the national education policy, and at what levels your institutions have implemented it. So I think please put those answers in the chat box if you can, so that I can start the session in a very way. Hope you all hear me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Clear.
So the audience, I would like you to text, at least some of you can text chat box. Yes, thanks. Thanks, Geeta. Physics. Thanks, Bashu. Okay. The others. So I assume that you're all just beginners into the career and you have to go a long way in your career. So I will start the session with a brief introduction to the new educational policy, and then take notes on your doubts or anything, and then we will move further. Is that okay, participants? Yes. I think if you have any questions, you can unmute your mic, or you can put it in the chat box. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all. So, in the new education policy, if you look at it, it did not all of us boom into the environment. It was a long decided or long observed things what reform should be brought into the education sector. I think almost for a decade, people were thinking about it, and now they have implemented a policy that can cater to the needs of the institutions and the students. So, what it really means is, or what is the vision with which this new education policy was designed, is it is designed to meet the needs of the 21st century. So, what is the need of the 21st century? That is the first question that I think from all the levels we should be asking this question, irrespective of which branch of education we are in. We all know that there is a big industrial revolution, and education is also an industry, and which is also facing this revolution because of technology. So we call this revolution as 0.0, 5.0, and of course now they're talking to about 6.0. So fundamentally, what is happening across the world, across all the industries is, how are we going to
Ma'am, ma'am, we are not able to hear, ma'am. Ma'am, ma'am, ma'am. Ma'am,
work and the technology is not working in our favor? So I was talking about how to bring in a human-centric approach. Okay, and that is one reason as to why the new education policy had to come into existence. The other reason is because of information technology. Today, the universe is seen as such. Okay, so globally, we need to have knowledge sharing, we have knowledge dissemination levels. Meeting the global standards is again the next question that every educationist was asking. Education system meeting the global standards. Of course, we had come a long way in the education sector in India, and we have all the resources, all the human resources, and also the educational resources and knowledge resources to become a global leader in the sector of education. So, the new NEP was mainly to transform India into a knowledge society and a knowledge superpower. So, any knowledge, education becomes the fundamental. So, how do you become a knowledge or a global knowledge superpower is by providing quality education to all. And providing high quality cannot stop with teaching and learning. Some fundamental that you find in the new educational policy. You cannot stop it with just teaching and learning. It involves research and innovation in the field of understanding the existing knowledge, research on understanding the existing knowledge, and also creating new knowledge based on the changes that are happening around us. And we innovator knowledge and its application into the industries. So this is big. So the role of an educator, teaching and learning, and this has become an essential element uh, and today. And so the vision of the new education policy at the state and the center level or wherever it may be is focusing on these things. That is how to become a knowledge society, how to become a global knowledge superpower, and also how to be a hub for research and innovation. Uh, so I would like to know if all of us as teachers can be a part of this vision that is envisioned for the higher education. If yes, you can just put yes in your chat box. Yes. So this is something that we all have to look forward. I'm very happy that we are all prepared to take up the change and also become a change agent and do the needful. I'm very happy to see so many S in the chat box. So when you look at it, what do they focus on? I don't know if all of you are familiar with these points, then we have to look at something else. But this is it. What is the objective of NEP? Enhance educational quality. Yes. The quality of education is good in India, but there is no standardization of quality of education in across the various states or the various regions within the state. So many times we feel that provide educational quality and certain others who are at the grassroots are not able to meet that quality standards of the other prime institutes. So they I think it's time that we all look into how to bring this uniformity in the educational quality. Of course, we have a lot of bottlenecks. The intake of the students differ. Intelligence levels of the students differ. Uh, and between a prime institution and a grassroots institution, but yet we can try to strike a balance, at least in the standard of the curriculum, if not on the pedagogy and the assessment. To begin with, the education quality started with curriculum or a pedagogy that is standardized at various levels. We can offer more than what is given in the standardized pedagogy, but it is asked to be ensured that we do not dilute even the very little that the curriculum be a standardized curriculum. The next is to promote equity and inclusion. So this is what we have been talking about. I think across the regions, this is very difficult in a country like India. Bringing in equity and inclusion into education is very difficult, but we are a very successful country when the educational levels of the coming generation is highly improved when compared to, say, before 25 years or 30 years. Many people are getting into the school education. The proportion of the population that is already into the school education and the people who pass out of the school education and get into college education, the graph is always growing in India. So when the graph is always growing, it means that the the basic growth of any country or India depends on the education sector. So to bring this, understood this across the years, they are trying to bring in equity and inclusion. They want to foster innovation and flexibility. Innovation and flexibility we all faced because of COVID. I think this was one industry or one sector which did not sleep even during the pandemic. So this innovation and flexible learning patterns has to be brought into the environment. And this is not just to meet the requirement of the, it is to meet the requirements of the students also. We all know how the alpha gen have a different learning pattern when compared to the our generation or the previous generations. So this alpha gen has a type of a learning pattern which we should understand, we should bring in and then cater to their learning patterns. So I think that is the biggest challenge that every teacher is facing today in the classrooms. Okay, how to bring in some innovative teaching method to meet the requirements of the alpha gen. Their attention span can be one. They are exposed to various medias. I think after a few days, the children will be very strange to see human beings on board. So that when that is so, how do you adapt yourself? The next, to meet that requirement, they are trying to strengthen the digital learning. Uh, so strengthening digital learning is not something that they brought in suddenly. They developed a platform called Swayam. Okay, it has been developed by the Ministry of Education, and there are many other indigenous platforms also. Like for example, IIM has IIMBX. Then IITs have their NPTL. Likewise, for the engineering students, good platform. So likewise, the digital platforms have been developed by institutions by the government. The government has been always encouraging open distance learning, learning environment in institutions. So this fundamental background has been created to facilitate the students to take up digital learning. Then revamping of curriculum and pedagogy. As I said, again they are going back to the educational quality. So they're trying to, as I said, alpha gen is something very different that we are going to face. So they're trying to make learning more enjoyable, less stressful, and more relevant to real life applications. But at the same time, they compromise on the quality of education. So how are we going to bridge this gap between the quality of education and the alpha gen requirements, the industrial requirements, the technology innovations that are happening around us? It's a very high challenge which has been addressed by the new educational policy. So they're trying to bridge this gap through educational quality, equity and inclusion, innovation and flexibility, curriculum and pedagogy. So, any doubts so far? Any things that you want to discuss? Saying,